Dear all, welcome back to today's session. So in those sessions we actually cover how we can technically talk, we can mention the talks not only in TCS interviews or service based companies interview, but when you go to product based or top MNCs, what you have first you have a DS round, and next you cross low level or high level design round, then you come to the HR or interview line, and that time it becomes very important for you that you maintain the conversation communication and you answer the questions. So here in this series we cover one by one each question. So in today's question, as you have seen in the description, that we'll be covering that if in technical discussion some of our clients remain silent, how will you encourage them to talk? So without wasting time, let's look at the slide, the answers, how we have utilized the STAR methodologies to answer this question one by one, step by step. So first we start from here. So that is the question that how to encourage silent team members. So our question actually tells that how will you be encouraging the silent team members if our few team members is to silence. That means the question actually gives us few time to think it, like 2 minutes. And professional, how will you be answering that situation? Suppose you are in a team meeting like this, you are in team meeting and he is replying, but those two people are silent, they are not talking. So it's become very crucial and very important for you that they also talk, they also contribute their ideas towards the project. So how will you encourage them? That is the question. So to answer that type of question, we follow the official method powered by Amazon, that is STAR method, that is situation, task, action, result. So if you know this is situation, first we think about the situation, that what was the situation that happened right then. So the situation might be few people were stopped, they are not making sound, that was the situation. So task, that what was assignment, what was my responsibility in that current situation, that comes under the category of task. Then actions, that means what are the actions we took, to improve their responsibilities, to make the environment overall cooperative, so that they also talk. So how did you motivate, what are all the actions we cover in the action section. And the result, what was the outcome of the entire event. So we cover this answer in 4 parts, like a interview, like we are in the interview. So we cover situation, task, action, result. Now let's look the next slide. So now here I will actually tell you how you should reply in the interview, and also and at the end of the entire block I'll also make you understand what this is trying to tell. So let's start this with study. So suppose you are in interview, you will be answering like this. Suppose during a project discussion or a sprint planning meeting, I noticed that some team members are staying silent and not contributing their ideas even though their input could be valuable for the project. So first in the STAR, we actually acknowledge that what happened. Suppose during a project discussion or a sprint planning meeting, I noticed that some team members are staying silent and not contributing their ideas even though their input could be valuable for the project. So here just we are confessing that few people are not actually providing or contributing their ideas. Now the second, we come to the task portion. So my responsibility would be to create a collaborative environment where every team member feels comfortable sharing technical opinions, concerns and improvement ideas, so the team can make better encouraging decisions collectively. So in this sentence, in the task sections, we are actually telling that what should we do. So my responsibility would be to create a collaborative environment. First, this would be my responsibility to create a collaborative environment, where every team member feels comfortable. So this is another important thing, that we try to feel every team member comfortable, where every team member feels comfortable sharing technical opinions, concerns and improvement ideas, so the team can make better engineering decisions collectively. So the outcome will be better engineering decisions collectively. So in one sentence, we actually comprise 3 strong key signals, that my responsibility would be to create collaborative environment where every team member feels comfortable sharing technical opinions, concerns and improvement ideas, so the team can make better engineering decisions collectively. So that is the task. We cover our main mission, that we'll be trying to create a collaborative environment. The goal is to feel every member comfortable, and the main focus is improvement of our project, of our ideas, so that our engineering decisions become the best. So that is the task. So we have covered 2 main methods, situation, task. In third, now we will be covering the action method 1. So I will be confessing the action like this. First, I would avoid directly putting pressure on anyone publicly, because that can sometimes make people even more hesitant to speak. Instead, I would try to create a more inclusive discussion flow by asking targeted and respectful questions based on the area of ownership or expertise. So now look, first we are telling about that we would not put any type of pressure publicly so that they feel, they feel shameful and they become more hesitant to speak. Instead, we will be open, we'll openly try to create discussion. We will ask them questions respectfully about their ideas or ownership in this project, their experience over that particular idea. So we cover this one. Now second, for example, I might say, since you worked on the API integration module, what's your perspective on this approach? So we are asking a question about his expertise domain. Number one things, do you see any scalability or implementation risks we should consider before finalizing the solution? Now, I would also acknowledge contributions positively so team members feel that their opinions are valued. So this is the important thing, that acknowledgement. I would also acknowledge contributions positively so team members feel that their opinions are valued. If needed, I would encourage alternative ways of participation as well, such as follow-up discussion, async update, or smaller technical brainstorming sessions for people who may not be comfortable speaking immediately in a larger meeting. So these are one by one strategies that we are discussing, that if needed I would encourage alternative way of participation as well, such as follow-up discussion, async update, or smaller technical brainstorming session for people who may not be comfortable speaking immediately in larger meeting. So this is the action part. After that, my goal would be to build an environment where collaboration feels safe, productive, and engineering focused rather than judgment driven. So this would be goal. At the end of the action, we actually express our goal to the interviewer, that my goal would be to build an environment where the collaboration feels safe, productive, and engineering focused rather than judgment driven. And after we have handled the situation, task, action, now we also discuss about the result portion. So we discuss like this: as a result, team participation gradually becomes more active. So as a result of team participation become more active, communication also improves, and the project benefits from broader technical perspective, not from one, from two, but broader perspective from all members, instead of relying only on few voices. So that would be the outcome of the result. This often helps the team identify the hidden risk earlier, generate better solution ideas, and strengthen overall communication and ownership within the project. We also tell how it would benefit the project also. So if we were in the interviewer, we would have taken the entire things in only at once, like this. So okay, I'm again listening you by listening one by one, so that if you even listen from me, it gets set inside your brain. So suppose during a project discussion or a sprint planning meeting, I noticed that some team members are staying silent and not contributing their ideas, even though their input could be valuable for the project. My responsibility would be to create a collaborative environment where every team member feels comfortable sharing technical opinions, concerns, and improvement ideas so the team can make better engineering decisions collectively. First, I would avoid directly putting pressure on anyone publicly, because that can sometimes make people even more hesitant to speak. Instead, I would try to create more inclusive discussion flow by asking targeted and respectful questions based on their area of ownership or expertise. For example, I might say, since you worked on the API integration module, what's your perspective on this approach? Do you see any scalability or implementation risks we should consider before finalizing the solution? I would also acknowledge contributions positively so team members feel that their opinions are valued. If needed, I would encourage alternative ways of participation as well, such as follow-up discussion, async update, or smaller technical brainstorming sessions for people who may not be comfortable speaking immediately in larger meeting. My goal would be to build an environment where collaboration feels safe, productive, and engineering focused rather than judgment driven. As a result, team participation gradually becomes more active, communication improves, and the project benefits from a broader technical perspective instead of relying only a few voices. So this is the answer we could easily reply in 2 to 3 minutes following the star patterns, that is situation, star, that is situation, task, action, result pattern. if you follow, your answer becomes more structured, more executive level professional, and your selection probability will be very high. So this is, and while replying you can keep those things in your account, as that you should not blame team members, you should not tell anything that is abusive or that is disrespectful. You should always use communication, transparency, etc. So these are written here. So we are finishing this project here. Again, we'll be meeting in the next session with some other interview topics about LLD, HLD design or system design, or some algorithmic topics, or about new questions regarding those lessons. How can we technically talk, improve our communication skills, etc. So meeting in the next session.